challenge. And it is Monday, August the 4th, about 2 o'clock in the afternoon here in Los Angeles. And I am putting the finishing touches on today's support replay, which I will be posting inside of our Facebook members only group, along with some notes that I took from the session. So before I go into the quick recap or here's what you missed video, did have some updates and announcements as well. Want to make sure that you guys do view still check out the entire video sessions in detail. Maybe you can't watch them all in one sitting. That is okay. But don't just rely on the Cliff's Notes or the quick recap videos, because the sessions are packed with either training, addressing questions head on, some of the important announcements that affect the course, the program, what we're up to, what we're doing, where the group is headed, along with, at the very least, information and a background on how this industry works so that we can all get better at our craft and hit some serious income goals, right? So with that being said, today's support replay was an hour 45 minutes, and here's what you missed. Jeremy opened the session with API updates. There is a Google Docs spreadsheet that you can fill in with your email, your account limit, and the issue that you are experiencing. And a lot of this relates actually to ESM and CMAX. Any online tools which requires us or that requires a user to generate info, set something up, before you register or send in a support ticket, make sure you follow the directions step by step. If you've already done it, double check to make sure that you did everything correctly and that you didn't add a dot where it was not supposed to go, or you might have misspelled something, or you sent in the username and password to account A when you were supposed to send the username and password to account B, for example, right? So a lot of it is user-generated errors on the front end. And by the time Emilio or anybody who's reviewing the support ticket gets that, right, we want to make sure that, again, there's no redundancy involved, so that by the time Emilio gets it, he can fix the account quick, as opposed to him having to go all the way back and say, hey, this person gave me the wrong username, and then it travels all the way back, and you're at the end of the queue or the line. So definitely make sure that you follow the process correctly. The Google link will be posted inside of the notes, so you guys can go ahead and fill that in. Jeremy also talked about CGW 2.0. They did have a tentative launch date of last Friday. They've moved it out, looks like by a week or maybe even more. But based on some of the reasons why and the updates, it is absolutely worth it. Some of the major updates to 2.0 will include throttling the content, or basically experience matching, where you cannot move on to step number 2 if you didn't do step 1. Or you can't watch frequently asked questions videos if you haven't seen the get started, here's what you need to do first videos. Now, this is to help streamline support and training sessions. It's to encourage those folks to actually take action with the course, with the tools that they're buying and jumping on board, right? It allows for you to see who among your team members are genuinely taking action, and really to improve the overall user experience so that folks aren't lost or getting confused by content that is not relevant to their particular situation or where they are at, right? I know a common term is confusing busyness with business. For example, there are still folks that are doing a ton of research on the highest paying offer. If you missed support last week or training, you would have completely missed the boat on the highest paying offer is not necessarily the best one. There's a reason behind it, and there's a lot of dynamics involved that go into those offers. Jeremy even shared a quick story on how some of the most money that he has made was not on that $200 payout, but little rinky-dink $3 to $10 payouts. And again, check the video for greater detail and breakdowns on there. But throttled content, so that folks don't get to jump ahead and they accidentally shoot themselves in the foot, they hold themselves back unnecessarily or just create confusion. Another major announcement, why 2.0 was pushed out a little bit, is because Devon and his team and some other great resource persons are actually contributing to 2.0, where there is going to be a done-for-you funnel. And that is absolute great news for those of you that are in network marketing, multi-level marketing, or want to build an online direct sales organization, right? The concept behind this is there's going to be a call center that will contact the people who opt into the Sarah blog or the Success blog who are requesting for more information on how to get started. They're serious about starting an online business or want to talk to a coach. And that person on the phone is going to talk to them about their options so that they can get started. and 100% of the commissions would be credited towards you or me or whoever, wherever that lead and whose funnel it goes into. So if you're part of a multi-level marketing company, it goes into your downline. If you're focused more on building an online sales network, then you can have other affiliates promoting different products and courses, and everybody wins and makes some money. And that is absolutely exciting. You do not have to be a phone dog. I absolutely know what that's like. Got some funny stories there. But that is a done-for-you component. Again, nobody's offering this kind of stuff. So Devin's actually going to be flying in, hanging out with Chris and Jeremy to build this thing out. They also had another third-party expert who specializes in building online funnels and large direct sales networks, who also got their minds blown after they had talked to and sat down with Chris and Jeremy on some of these new updates. So absolutely exciting. Now, with regards to compensation and payout, some of that stuff may change. It just depends on what program you are a part of and how the numbers work. After all, it has to make sense for all parties involved. So do look out for some announcement with regards to the payouts, right? Other things to look forward to, talked a little bit about tools, ESM, CMAX, some of the stuff here that are exclusive to Tampa Live and Tampa Live Stream. There is a Facebook members only group dedicated for you guys. So get with your team captains so that they can approve your request to join that members only group. You can also, request a link to get inside of the group, but that will be reviewed by the admins so that the folks who did purchase, who did take the time to attend the live stream or go there live and protects the bonuses, the content that is exclusive to them. And that way any other resource or experts or contributors to the Clicks Gone Wild group, everybody's protected and can benefit from getting their stuff handed to them in a timely manner. So Facebook, there's another Facebook group. The link will be somewhere here below, and reach out to your team captains as well, right? Now, ESM CMAX, there will be some quick videos that I'll be posting today inside of that new group. They are simple walkthrough videos, very basic, so that we can all follow along step by step, cross our T's, dot our I's, as we get our campaigns out. There's still some folks, and I know I can relate to this, I'll send out an ESM and I'm wondering, is that what Jeremy would have done? So the videos are based exactly on their steps. Do look out for that, and that should get you out and up and running on those tools. There will be support training and videos dedicated ongoing to ESM and CMAX, so just look out for those. But hey, these are starter foundational videos which will at the very least get your first few campaigns out the door right after you view them and take some action. So do look out for that. There were some folks that were asking about their AR accounts being put on hold or shut down. Again, make sure that there is no front-end user error on your part, that you set everything up correctly, and that you double-checked it. If you've double-checked the process and make sure your information or your sign-up process was correct, for example, your account is tied to Cash for Clicks, then you can proceed to send in a support ticket so that the CGW team can take that, run with it, and find out what's going on with whatever concern or issue. And in this case, if it's an autoresponder one, there is somebody dedicated on their end that would be able to give us feedback as to what happened to that account. All right. Okay, so other important announcement, I think those are the major ones. Jeremy started to close out the particular session, sharing an email that he got live while he was on support, which only goes out to the elite, and there's really only 25 of the high caliber marketers, inboxers in the industry that get access to that type of training and that really shape and make and build this industry. And I thought, again, it's ongoing reminder, encouragement, and continues to build confidence that we're working with the right folks that truly lead from the front, get stuff done, and are the ones that shape and really build the industry. So I thought that was super cool. And again, the fact that they're going to build a done-for-you component or bringing in that call center to help additional conversions, wow, right? Wow. So that email, and Jeremy was flashing his phone, you might want to check that one out on there. And he also shared some stories, how he integrates family with his business, especially when Chris and them first got started, here online. And like any project or business venture that you do start, you may not necessarily have raving fans or the support of the loved ones around you. And that's not necessarily because they don't understand the industry that you're in, but because you didn't have a dialogue with them. So at the very least, open up a dialogue with the folks around you. It could be your significant other, girlfriend, boyfriend, family, spouse, family friend, relatives, accountability partners, your business partners. Open a dialogue and let them know, this is what I'm working on. These are some of the things that I need to get done. Support at this time, replay at that time, or dedicate, about an hour, 45 minutes to get all my stuff out, check out some of the recap videos. Let them know so that they'll be able to make some adjustments on their end, give you the time that you need so that you can get business done and not, and not confuse that with busyness. And think that, these people around you are not going to support you. Just have that conversation, right? Some of you maybe, and I can absolutely relate to this when I first started out as an entrepreneur. I mean, there's a reason why I left the Philippines and flew, around here so I can surround myself with new folks. You may not necessarily be in an environment or have the relationships that are there to support and push and move you ahead. And if that's where you're at, you need to make some new friends and start up a new family. And the beautiful thing about the CGW program is that there are folks that are very active in the group, in the course. And so surround yourself with these folks, reach out to them, start to build relationships, right? Just kind of focus down, hunker on what you need to do, connect with these new folks, and tune out the ones that don't necessarily support you. Eventually, those people will come around. And even, that may include some friends, families, and loved ones. Because at the end of the day, I know for a majority of us, that's why we're doing this. Not only to uplift our personal situations, but to make a better future for those around us. And sometimes they don't really get that at first, but eventually, once they see some of the smaller wins that are that you're doing, they will jump on board. Or you just make some new friends and start up a new family as well. And hey, those are the folks you want to be around anyway. So do check out the video replay for support today in greater detail. And in my last video, I did promise to share a circus story. These are one of my favorite stories to share as we open up a big week, a big month, or a good timeline project, just to make sure our head's in the right space and we get in the zone, right? And so with these stories that I'm going to be sharing, some of them are personal ones. Some of them I've heard from third party, from the books that I've read, from the courses that I've signed up for, or different workshops, right? And I like to inject some of my own personal experience that I can relate to it, or even some of my own relationships into those stories. So this story is about the circus that actually came out to the Philippines. The Ringling Brothers first actually came out, and they brought their entire entourage with them. They brought the clowns. They brought the buggy that can fit about 100 clowns. They brought the elephants. They brought the tigers. They brought all the entertainers, all the jugglers, all the weird, funky stuff like the strongest man, bearded lady, littlest person, two-headed, three-headed, four-headed, biggest this, smallest that, all the fun, cool stuff. And one of my favorite things about the circus and these fairs are the food. So they actually had some of that stuff with them. Not the healthiest stuff, but definitely one of the tastiest and some of the most adventurous stuff that we'll come across. I love food. We love to eat here. And so that was one of the things I remember from there. But my most memorable experience with that story, the circus story, it's actually with me and my brothers. And we were walking around the circus grounds, checking out, some of the games that you can play, little sideshows, different interactions and performers. And after about a while, I noticed my youngest brother, his name is Ben, kind of look a little bit sad, right? And so I thought, what, maybe he just kind of stubbed his toe or ran into one of the folks as we were walking through the crowd. He might be okay, so not a big deal. So we continue to walk around, play a few games, check out a few other things, and I look back down at Ben, and he still looks a little bit bummed out. All right, so whatever, let's just kind of didn't make a big deal out of it, didn't panic. About 30, 45 minutes later, my younger brother, Rafi, he's the second one. We're 3 boys in the family, all in a row. I'm the eldest. He goes, you know what? Taps me on the shoulder. Ben looks really bummed out right now. Did something happen? Like, did you scold him? Or, like, did I forget to, buy something? Or did we, what's going on? I go, I don't know. I'm not sure why he feels bad, but I did notice he does look bummed out every time he looks at that guy, right? And pointed out to somebody in the pretty far off, close enough distance, I guess, but you can definitely see the person. And Rafi looks over, and it was a clown. He goes, Ben's not afraid of clowns. I go, I know. He just talked to a couple, but every time he looks at this guy, he looks sad, so I'm not sure, right? This particular clown We weren't sure why, but we wanted to get to the bottom of it. So we're like, you know what? Let's go over there. Let's have a conversation. So grab Ben's hand, and he was, really young at the time. And we walk over to the clown. And this guy's standing there, and he didn't look like, each of the clowns look very different. There's big ones, small ones, variety. But this guy had a whole handful of balloons, and he had like a whole bunch of balloons floating on top of him. Some are big, some are small, some were long, squigglies, odd-shaped, different colors, right? Different patterns, just a whole variety. You name it, the guy had a balloon that had something there in it with that description. And so we go over to the guy, and I, kind of kneel down to Ben and go, Ben, is everything okay? Did you want to talk to him? Did you want a balloon? He goes, no, not really. I go, okay. Well, I did want to ask him a question, is what Ben said. I go, all right, cool. So I look back at the clown, and I go, hey, my younger brother would like to ask you a question. And so he stops, he was handing out balloons with different people and other kids and parents. He stopped handing them out, and he looks at Ben. He goes, hey, man, why so sad? And Ben looks at him, and he goes, oh, I have a question. He goes, okay, what's your question? Did you want a balloon? So he immediately got one and handed it to Ben. And Ben kind of looked at him, no, thank you. I just wanted to ask you something. He goes, okay, what's your question? He goes, well, I noticed all the balloons that you had, and I was wondering, do they all fly? And the clown was like, yeah, of course they all fly. And Ben goes, really? Yeah. Even the small, tiny little one? And there was this tiny, tiny little balloon, kind of faded, funky little colors that was, that was part of the big grip and variety of the balloons there. Even that little one? And then the clown goes, yeah, even that little one, right? And he looks at Ben, and he goes, little boy, it's not the color of the balloon that makes it fly. It's not the shape of the balloon that makes it fly. Doesn't matter if it's held high or it's held low. It's what's inside of the balloon that makes it fly. And after that, he let go of that tiny little balloon, and we watch it go right up into the sky. And I was looking at him thinking, I was looking at Ben, and I was looking at the clown, I was looking at Ben, I was looking at the clown, and I was like, did that just happen? That was like a major, profound moment right there. Right? And so my brother kind of tuned in, spaced out, and Ben kind of looks at him, he goes, I get it. Right? He started smiling, the clown gave him a balloon, and we went on our way. And I thought that was absolutely, amazing. Because it's not the color, it's not the size, it's not the situation that the balloon is in, it's what's inside that makes it fly. So hopefully with the updates, the notes, the replays, the course, everything that's coming out here, you use that particular content, that training, and all that information, put that inside. Not only in your mind, but deep down in your heart. Like Jeremy was talking about, talking to your family and to your loved ones, right? Open to dialogue so that you can get their support. You can feel their love, and you know that they are on board. And if they're not, you can hunker down and you can focus on what matters most. But regardless of what's going on, it's what's inside that'll make it fly. So hopefully you guys have enough content here today and going into the week. I look forward to the new stuff. Do remember to subscribe, hit the like button, comment below, feedback, clarifications, violent reactions, and use that content, and I'll see you guys at the top. Have a great day, everybody. I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.